Welcome back to the City Current Radio Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're honored to be with our good friend, our longtime City Current partner who makes us look and sound good. And you'll make sense of all that when we start talking about this world of social media, storytelling, and also videography, pictures, everything that Creation Studios does. But longtime partners with Creation Studios, we're joined by their founder and their CEO, Donny Granger. Donny, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Jeremy. Thank you. It's fun to be with you virtually. It's fun to be with you in person too. Can't wait until we get back to all that. But for now, this is awesome. Thank you for doing what you do, keeping all this going.
Absolutely. Hey, well, you've been a big part of us powering the good together. And you, for anyone who sees all of our pictures, you and your team take all the pictures at the events, especially our signature speaker series. So you're an amazing storyteller. And let's start there, because for those who don't know Creation Studios, give us a little bit of kind of the elevator pitch in terms of what you do. And then we're going to dive pretty heavy into this world of storytelling and media and how everything is really shifting at a rapid pace. But give us some background on Creation Studios.
Yeah, thank you. So we do photo and video. We create stories for people, for companies, for organizations to share what they do with the world. The world needs to know what they do. Maybe their sales team can't get out to every single person that they want to sell to. So video does a great job of getting out there. Photography does a great job of sharing the image of that company for the world to see and connect to. And so for the last 20 years, we've been in Memphis, in the heart of Memphis, doing this kind of stuff, just helping people figure out what they want to say to the world and then how to say it in a way that makes the world respond. Because at the end of the day, you don't just need pretty pictures. You don't just need a cool video. You need the world to respond to that. Whether you're a nonprofit or some kind of organization or some kind of business, you need the world to say, I hear you, I feel you, I want to do business with you, I want to support you in some way. So we cut through all the noise, figure out the best way, what we call the soul of the story. So we find that heartbeat and we share that with the world. And it's just a blast, man. We get to know a lot of companies and a lot of organizations doing what we do. And it's just so much fun.
Dive into where you like to start to find the soul, because as you mentioned, it's one thing to take pictures. It's another for the picture to tell a story and to tie to a brand and to evoke emotion and a response, and even the video to share the story. So in other words, there is a lot of artistry, but there's also a lot of strategy to what you do. So talk about how you like to get to the essence of what you're really trying to accomplish, so you know going in what the mission's going to be.
Yeah, so pre-production is huge, right? A lot of companies have done a great job figuring out who they are and why the world should care. But just in case they haven't, we always start there. And I don't take their word for it. I'm sort of the customer's advocate when it comes to that stage of the process, thinking through, why would I care that you're there? Let's assume I need that widget that you make. There's 8 other people that make that same widget. Why would I care about your company? And so usually that has to do with the people aspect. My background is very people-centric with a liberal arts major. I didn't study film. I didn't study photography. I studied people in college. And so getting to the heart of the matter is really what it's all about. It's just a bunch of questions. We had a call just today, just a couple hours ago, with a brand new company just above Nashville and Union City. They're going to be making seating for the whole world, and they're making it right here in the USA. It's really cool. So we started digging in, and they had a pretty good idea of what they were going to be doing. But as it turned out, we've got to completely rethink what it means to be a company that's quote unquote made in America. And what does that mean for today's world? Why would someone care about that? We have a global economy. And so to say that in the right way is important. You can say that in the wrong way and maybe push some people away. So we realized in about 15 minutes, we're going to have to spend a few hours digging into what is this simple video that they thought they needed? What is that simple video going to say? How are they going to say it in a way that's winsome and communicates their true heartbeat for what they're doing? Because there's a lot of ways they can mess that up. And so for every phone call, for every one of our clients, we spend hours thinking through, there's a better way to say that. Let's find that better way. And so at the end of the day, hopefully the videos that we make, the photography that we take, conveys that true heartbeat, what we call the soul of the story. So we're driven by that. Every project we approach in that manner.
You, as you alluded to, you can work with companies literally all over the nation and the world. So you travel quite a bit working on these different projects and initiatives and campaigns. Give us a little bit, though, of your world and mindset when you're going into a project in terms of the ability to create. In other words, in one instance, you can create a lot of different things that can be used in perpetuity. So one video can yield different pieces that can be shared over time. One, campaign of going out and taking pictures, and we'll come back to this one, but, getting pictures of Memphis, for instance, can create artwork that you can use many years down the road. So going into this idea of looking at an instance, but yet at the same time, creating a long-term strategy and uses out of that.
That's great. Yeah, great point. So being a strategist with them on how to get more out of this video shoot. So let's say we show up for a day and we've got the idea to create a brand new vision video of, this is sort of their statement to the world of why they exist. On that shoot, we're going to get lots and lots of footage. So let's just think before we go, like how much more could we get out of this? So we help them create evergreen products that are always there. They can always use them. But then we create a whole batch of social media videos, because you've got to get people to the website. You've got to get people to that main video. And so that's happening on micro levels constantly, several times a week, through ads, through whether they're Google or Facebook. You're pushing this stuff through all these platforms. So we go into every project thinking, could this be a bigger campaign? Could this be a little bit more to give you more ROI? Because at the end of the day, we're all competing for eyes on social media. And that's the gateway to your website. That's the gateway to the whole sales funnel that you have in mind. People usually call us for the sales funnel, for the main video, but we help them think through, there's probably a whole lot more, and it's not going to cost that much. We've already got the footage. It really is a 15-second video. It's a 30-second video. Some text on top of just one shot of the thing that you do being made or done. That's enough. That's it. But you need lots of those, right? You can't just nail it with one, because next week you're going to need a whole new set of those. So that's fun to think big campaign, because we get to see the success for our clients too. But to everybody watching, to everybody listening, think in terms of how can you get more out of one shoot, whether it's photo or video. How can we multiply that? And cityCURRENT's a great example of multiplying. You do one little thing and then y'all have like 15 other outlets for that one little bit to go to. So it's fun to live in this new world of digital stuff and virtual stuff. There's just 1,000 ways that every drop of energy you put into something can be magnified. So that's a lot of fun to think that way.
Carry that forward, because you mentioned social media. And to your point, when you talk about social media, you have to have a lot of content. You will blow through content like there's no tomorrow. It's like TV. You have to be programming 24/7. So you go through content. And I think that in and of itself is something you do have to think about and strategize. But when it comes to social media, what are some of your either trends that you're looking at, tips? Give us Donnie's mindset when it comes to using social media.
Yeah, wow. That I feel suddenly a lot of pressure to be really cool and hip and edgy on trend setting. But you know what? Let me go to the basics. If you can put motion to something, people will look at it. So start there. Any bit of motion, text popping on screen, literally any college grad in your office could probably do this. There's easy software on phones. Adobe's got some easy software. We've got a whole little PDF that we send people, and it's got several examples of just ways to do stuff really simply. You don't need huge production value, but don't just post a simple picture. Put a little bit of movement to it, add text to it. And as people are scrolling, find something a little shocking, a little bit, oh, I need to stop and see what that's about. And then the movement's going to catch their eye. So whether it's photo or video, adding a little bit of movement, a little bit of text, because people aren't listening to audio. That's another big thing. You got to reel them in to get them to actually listen to the audio. So writing things on your picture that pop up, the main thing you want to say, it's got to pop up really fast up front. You got about a second to catch their attention and get your message across. And you're competing with companies that have huge budgets and are doing that really, really, really well. So know who your audience is and say the words that are going to matter to them. So say that word. If it's an architect, say, are you an architect? Immediately. And then that architect's going to stop. More than likely, then rather than just show, because we do architecture photography, so I'm thinking about it. If they're scrolling, they see a picture of a nice building, maybe they'll stop if they love that building. But if I speak, hey, are you an architect? Do you need pictures? Do you need this? All in the first second, maybe I've got a shot at winning their attention for more seconds. Does that help? So don't think in terms of trends and being edgy. Think in terms of speaking to your audience. What words will they say, need to hear, and say them very, very quickly. Does that help?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of this is, to your point, it's the blocking and tackling. It's going to the tried and true, and not necessarily, even though you want to know about the trends, you don't necessarily have to always be looking for the trends, because the trends constantly change and the algorithms constantly change. And so social media in and of itself for businesses is really important to be focused on. At the same time, you, just like everything you're talking about, you have to have a strategy and stick to the blocking and tackling and the fundamentals of what makes it successful.
And I'll tell you, the person who's consistently there is going to win every day versus the person who spent a whole big budget on being cool once, right? Yep. Just show up every day in some way. And so back to your original question, that's why you need a lot of content. So a video shoot, we can go shoot for half a day and we can give you footage and clips and stuff to last you months, but you're gonna have to keep doing that, whether, or photo or whichever it is. Usually companies think in quarters. And so that helps. Think in terms, let's do a photo or video shoot per quarter. And maybe we don't even edit it. Maybe we just give you all the stuff and you guys edit it, or put it together in little 15-second clips. But you've got to be thinking that. You've got to be thinking, I got to show up several times a week in front of the people that I want to see me.
Yeah. For those who can see you on screen, you are using your technology and expertise in a whole new way in terms of being able to use a camera HD 1080. So, I mean, you're coming across crystal clear. You've got your lapel mic on. So, I mean, you're rocking a Zoom video conference in a whole new professional way. Talk about that side, because you are doing a lot of virtual events for nonprofits and fundraisers and businesses. And so share a little bit of that world and some of these lessons that you're already starting to utilize.
Wow. Yeah, that's a really important thing. In the last many months, we've helped people put together another level of virtual. We all knew virtual was there. We all were sort of putting up with it, the way it was going to work with Zoom at first, and with Microsoft, they're sort of competing in that. But one really easy thing to do, there's a couple of pieces of hardware, but connecting an actual camera, I'm pointing to the camera that we use on productions. So we just have that on a tripod right above my screen. It's connecting, it's got a great lens. We've got a light up here. All of this can be done for a few $100 with the right camera, the right lighting. And you connect that in and tell Zoom, hey, look at that camera instead of my laptop camera. And suddenly you're just on a different level. So we've helped nonprofits do that. Oh, and audio is huge. So right here, just a simple little lapel mic connected in. It's going via Bluetooth to the camera. It's great. It's a little Rode mic. It changes the game. I mean, everybody has seen the virtual events that maybe it's a nonprofit, or maybe it's like a group meeting for the corporation, and you can barely hear people. They're really far back, or they're really close and kind of awkward and weird. We notice when there's high production value. It doesn't have to be expensive, but we notice production value just as a culture. And so when you take the time for that virtual call to put a little bit of effort into your surroundings, into a good lighting, I'm not backlit by a window, my kid's not running around. So all that stuff matters when you're in that meeting. And so we've had companies hire us to come in and set up their pitch meeting. So whether it's an architect appealing to a giant client, they had to look good. That happened just recently. Or an attorney group, they're doing a national level court case, and the judge is in Florida, and they've got jury, and they've got people all over the country. So we set them up to look really good. We had a multi-camera shoot. We had the lighting, backdrops. It was a production. And it's like a 3-month trial. So we set them all up, and they're the best looking people on the screen, and it matters, right? And what's cool is that attorney group thought, you know what, we just want to step it up a little bit. What can we do? And so they brought us in. Jimmy Stovall, we all know Corky's Barbecue here in Memphis. So Jimmy brought us in. We set up a multi-camera deal. He's on QVC all the time. He's selling nationally. It's gigantic. So we set him up. He's looking great. People on QVC, other like dealers, sellers on QVC are calling us now. Hey, we want to look like Jimmy. So it's just a different world, but we're doing a TV production on the micro level for a laptop, and but it's fun, and everybody's looking great.
Well, and to your point though, the professionalism speaks volumes. And if you're going to take yourself seriously, these are the little things that put you in a whole different level in terms of the way that you're able to compete. So carry that forward on your end because you do a ton of philanthropy. One of the things is Memphis Soul Prize. Give us a little bit of background on Memphis Soul Prize and where that's headed.
Yeah, so I'll kind of pivot. I'll put on my Soul Prize hat. Memphis Soul Prize is a nonprofit we started as a way to give back to Memphis. It's a poetry contest for high school students. Our goal was to unite Memphians around celebrating the good and elevating the story of our city. And we wanted to do it through high school students. So we started a few years ago. They wrote poetry. We created films around that poetry. They recorded with David Porter, the audio, and we have a big celebration and announce the winner. The whole city votes. So this year was weird, last year was weird. This year's a little weird. But last year, the party sort of culminated. Y'all were big supporters, by the way. Thank you, cityCURRENT. But the party was supposed to happen at the end of the school year, and then it didn't because of COVID. So we were able to this was so great. Cumulus Radio and WKNO jumped up and said, hey, let's make a big deal of this. And so WKNO actually let us put on a show. So like a TV show. So it was really cool. So now not only did we get to make the stuff, but we got to share it with like literally the whole world. They're playing this thing all over Tennessee. They're playing it several times a week. So the whole city's getting to rally around it. So what appeared to us to be this sort of diminished, we didn't get to do it, actually turned out better. So virtual allowed us to go bigger and reach more people, which is our goal. And so now we're back. They are in class right now. So this is the beginning of March. They're in class. They just finished up their poetry. They're sending it in right now. It's going to go to judging. So we got some Memphis notable judges. They're going to give us the best 5. And man, I'm reading through them. They're so good. And we can't wait to get started on the creative. So we're aiming at April and May. The whole city can be voting online. So be looking for that. We'll be promoting that. So they'll be voting, and then we'll be creating the videos that will ultimately be, one of those will be the winner of the Memphis Soul Prize for this year. So COVID's not keeping us down, man. We're keeping going because people need good news. People need good things to celebrate.
Absolutely. And for anyone who saw it last year, it's world class. I mean, these are, many movies that are really, really well done. And to see the students, bringing them to life is powerful because it's in their words, it's their voice, and yet you're watching, a film basically unfold, bringing to life their poem. And so it really is cool. But I agree with you, is sometimes you look at a challenge and yet a really amazing blessing comes out of it. And I think that's, in this case, that's exactly what happened. So wrap up and talk about where we can go to learn more about Memphis Soul Prize and participate there. And then obviously too, for Creation Studios.
Yeah, so creationstudios.io is where you can get to know all of us. You can get to our fine arts stuff, which is hanging behind me. You can get to any of the other cool stuff we do. We have stuff for nonprofits. We have photo, video, all the stuff, creationstudios.io. And then Memphis Soul Prize is memphissoulprize.org. And you go there, you can support it. You can see all the sponsors that are supporting us. You can support them, which is awesome. So everybody can be a part of this. We've got merch on there. You can be wearing the hoodies. You can be having fun with Memphis Soul Prize. Really, it's just about celebrating the city. So memphissoulprize.org. Check it out.
And you do have artwork. So wrap it up with the artwork because you do have these amazing pictures of Memphis that people can purchase and hang all over their walls too.
Yes. Okay, man. Thank you. So creationstudiosgallery.com. You can see all the Memphis artwork that we have. Lipscomb and Pitts got this started many, many years ago by hiring us, setting us free to create some cool stuff around Memphis. And we created 250 different images, and they were all over the Lipscomb and Pitts building. It was awesome. Not the building, but in the hallways, to be clear. And but since then, it's taken on a life of its own. So now they're in office buildings all over town. They're in people build a new office. The architects call us, say, hey, we want some Memphis work in there. What do you got? And so we send them the steel. It's all customized. It's custom to the space. We did a 6-foot by 24-foot tall print framed hanging in the new Campbell Clinic. Like they have this giant 3-story atrium. So we're everywhere around town. You'll see a lot of our Memphis work, but we just love people having it in their home or in their space, whether it's work or office or whatever. We love sharing Memphis. We love that they love sharing Memphis. So they get a story hang on their wall of what they see there, what they love about it. And it's just Memphians loving Memphis. And we like being a part of that.
Absolutely. Well, you and your team do a fantastic job. And like I said at the onset, you've been a huge part of cityCURRENT helping us power the good. And obviously, definitely look forward to having you come back on and share even more success secrets, because there are so many that are in your mind. And so thank you so much for all you do and for coming on the show.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeremy. Love you guys.